Hi, welcome to Freshers Now, a YouTube channel. Now before I begin with today's topic, I would like to remind you of the common mistakes that happen with many people with the use of have been, has been, and have been. It may be in the use of daily conversations or to those who attempt or give their competitive exams. And it is very essential that you need to have a check on the use of these tenses like have been, has been, and had been. Now let's look at the table. It's very clear that the subjects, when they are first person and second person or plural nouns, we use I, we, you, they. Now with these subjects, what is that we have to use there? It is have been. If it is the subject with third person singular number, a singular noun, that is he, she, it, we use has been. That is under present. And if it is under past, that is under past perfect, and we use irrespective of the subject. It may be either a singular or a plural subject. We use had been. Now this is very clear here, and you should be alert with the subjects and the use of present, as there are two helping verbs there with have and has. Okay. Now let's see how they happen to be used. Have been and has been with a present perfect and a past perfect. Okay. Let's see what the situations not using the action words, that is verbs. Say, I have been in the class for 5 minutes or 25 minutes. You can observe here, I have been in the class for 25 minutes. She has been there since 9 o'clock. You can observe here what I used there with for 25 minutes since 9 o'clock. And here it is very clear with the point of time and period of time. The first one for 25 minutes, when I said it is when you refer the amount of time, the period of time, then you use for the preposition. And if it is a point of time, to say that it begins from, we use the preposition since. So for example, we go with the past, like they had been on an assignment for 2 days when I knew. They had been on an assignment when I knew. Here, when I have to use the past there, the past perfect, here two actions are clear. One is with a new and the other is with the assignment, the work. So we should be careful here that I use the simple past with the activity that followed the past perfect. Now for example, I can say, he has been the manager for 10 years now. That means even now, he is the manager. So here you can understand the use of the time period, like a period of time with for and point of time with since. So this is where we need to take care with the use in any situation. Now let's see, when it is an experience, how these are used. I have been to Paris. Can I say that I went to Paris? Of course. But when I use that in place of have been with a simple past verb went, it carries a mere information to the listener. So, when I want to share with some experience to the listener, then I take have been or has been. So, I say that I have been to Paris. So, for example, if it is an experience, I should say, we all had been on an excursion when you came to see us. Now, this is where something that you want to share with, that you experienced and you feel at the time of sharing it, you can use have been and has been as well. Now, you can also say that with negatives, like you can even pose questions. Say like, where have you been all the time? You can ask. And you can also say that, has he been here for a long time? You can inquire. Have you ever been to Switzerland? Oh, we have never been late to class. So, this way where you can use the questions as well. Maybe positive or negative, the questions can be. So, this is a way where you can use with have been, has been, or had been maybe. And now let's see when you happen to use with the action words, how we can use them. And so far, it is that what we used in the situations. Now we come to say that with the action words, that is, verbs. I have been playing volleyball since my childhood. And you can understand here, that is, I began playing it since my childhood. That is what you understand here when I use like how or has. What it indicates is an activity started at some point of time in the past, and here it's still in progress. I've been playing volleyball since my childhood. That even now it's in progress. So let us take another example. She has been playing violin for 3 years. Now we can understand from this sentence how the point of time and period of time used in the sentence. So it's very clear. Let us come to see with another example. I have been teaching the lesson for more than, say, 5 minutes. I've been teaching the lesson for more than 5 minutes. I'm learning speaking English, but I haven't been learning it very long. I'm learning English. Now it's going on. And when I'm trying to refer that from the past to the present, I said, I haven't been learning very long. Not so long the time that I've been learning this, practicing English speaking. In this way, where you can understand how the verbs are used with the use of have been and has been, and even with a had been. For example, I had been teaching for 23 years when they came to know. So here I used. So it is what it refers only the past there, that an activity started at some point of time in the past. and that had come to an end by the time the other activity joins there. So now let's come to know that in the case of use of this have been, has been, and had been, what in the case of voice, that is a passive voice form, how they are used with these. Say, I say that the doors have been opened, I say. That means it's very clear that it's in passive form. With the use of been, that is a be form, it's very clear that it is in a passive form. That what is that emphasizing it? In case of the use of passive form, it emphasizes the verb, that is the action. But it is totally different with the active. That I could say here, I have opened the doors. Or if I take the subject, he or she, I say that he has opened the doors. Now here, in case of active, the emphasis lies on the subject. It is more focused on the subject. So this is where we can find the difference here when it is an active and how the passive are used with the be forms there. And say, for example, take someone like the chief guest has been invited warmly. The chief guest has been invited warmly. Of course, we can. I take saying that we have invited the chief guest warmly. If it is any individual, we can say that he or she, followed by has. That is what we need to bear on our minds with the use of how and has, with a check on the position of the word used. That is the subject. If it is plural, it's a have, and if it is singular, we know that we go with has. And even that, we should be careful with the persons, because even I and you all know that you is used for singular as well as plural. But even then, it is used with have. So it is only that we use this has with the third person singular numbers like he, she, and it. So this is how where you have to have a check on the use of have been, has been, and had been. Thank you for learning from me. So before I end up the lesson here, I would like to give you an exercise for your assessment that would make it more easy what your understanding is of the topic what we have covered so far with the use of have been, has been, and had been. Now I give you the time to go through. Now let's take a quick look at each of them there. Now see that first sentence, that Ben working at this company for 5 years. And here the subject Ben, and here the period of time is very clear with the use of for, the preposition, and has been. Because it is a third person singular number, that is Ben. So I use there has been. And let's see the second one there, they. A part of that organization since 2015. And it's also clear what the subject is plural in number. There's a plural noun there, pronoun used, and here is a point of time with the use of the preposition since. And so here it is to be used as have been. And let's see the quick look at the next one. The students in the class before the teacher came in. Here you can understand the two activities. That is what the students in the class and the other one is the teacher came. It's the second activity. So the two activities are there, as we know that it is to be with had been. So the students had been in the class before the teacher came in. Now let's see the other one. We studying in England when this war broke out. So what should be there? Here, the same way that you're given two things here, but here it is only there's action with the verb, and here the other one is the past tense with the broke out. So here what we need to use is had been. We had been studying in England when the war broke out. And then see the next one. I going to the seaside since my childhood. And here you can see that since my childhood, the activity has been in practice there, and I is a subject, and so we have to use have been. I have been going to the seaside since my childhood. Now let's see the sentence. It's raining since last night. Now here also you can see the subject, it, the third person singular number, and so it has been raining since last night. Now let's see the next one. They away in Paris for 3 months. Now what should be there? That here the period of time used, and there the subject is plural, and there have been away in Paris for 3 months. Now let's see the next one. The weather unusually cold for this time of year. What's the number? It comes under it, the third person singular number. So you can see here, the weather has been unusually cold for this time of year. Now let's see the next one. That book read by everyone. Here you can understand that by everyone. So it is in a passive form. By everyone in the class by now. So that book has been, because it is singular in number, that book has been read by everyone by now. So it's very clear with this here. And let's see the last sentence here. She inquired. You can find the difference of inquire and enquire. So she inquired by the police. And here also you can understand that it is in a passive form. That is a passive voice. Okay. By the police, by the time I went there. You can see here two actions. That is inquired and the other one is went. And by now you should understand very clearly that it should be in past perfect. That is to use had been. So she had been inquired by the police by the time I went there. So it's very clear now. So all might have followed, I believe. And if you have any queries with related to this lesson, please don't forget to mention in the comment box below. And please subscribe to this channel so that I could come up with a number of useful videos for you. Thank you.